Asia Pacific Rally Championship is a 7-round motorsport contest held over 3 continents, 7 countries. Car rallying is point-to-point racing against the clock over a series of closed road tests. The winner is the driver who gets to the finish in the fastest time.
Left.
Each car has a driver and a co-driver who gives the person behind the wheel information on the road conditions ahead, based on an earlier reconnaissance of the route.
Into 5 left, into easy 5 right mid.
With the 2 people inside working as a team, a rally car can be driven at seemingly unbelievable speeds through the countryside. But the rally crews face other challenges, such as furnace-like conditions. Temperatures can reach 60 degrees Celsius inside the cars. At other times, visibility and traction on difficult road surfaces can be a problem when the weather turns bad.
Clip 30, slow 5 right and 2 left mid.
And sometimes it can all go terribly wrong. Speeding across rough terrain causes a lot of wear and tear on the cars, and they need regular repairs and maintenance. The service halts give the drivers and co-drivers a refreshment break.
Good grub.
And of course the cars are given the treatment, a team of mechanics going to work on them. They repair or replace damaged or worn parts, check things, add fluids, even clean the car. The Asia Pacific Rally Championship began in 1988 and has grown into one of the world's best known regional rally championships. Past champions include Spain's Carlos Sainz in a Toyota, Australian Mitsubishi driver Ross Dunkerton, the late Possum born from New Zealand in a Subaru, and more recently, Southeast Asia's rallying hero, Malaysian Karimjit Singh. He's won the title 3 times in a Proton. Now, in 2006, as the teams head towards the first round in the Australian capital, Canberra, there's a new set of young drivers lined up, hoping to become the latest Asia Pacific Rally champion. The most experienced driver vying for the title is Japan's Katsu Taguchi, an APRC champion in '99 and driving an MRF-sponsored Mitsubishi Lancer. Taguchi's teammate for 2006 is Finland's Jarkko Miettinen, very experienced in his home country, but with little knowledge of the conditions he's going to face in the Asia Pacific. Also in Mitsubishi's are teammates in the new Indonesian rally team, the internationally experienced Rifat Sungkar and teenage rookie Suban Aksa. The other big news is the entry of 3-time Australian champion Cody Crocker, who'll drive a Subaru Impreza for the very experienced Les Walkden rally team.
Obviously a fantastic opportunity for us to do the Asia Pacific Championship, that next level up, and see if we can do well in that.
The team has also entered Australian Eli Evans, a young driver with a big future and winner of the Australian Subaru Challenge. Subaru is also represented by the Cusco team from Japan and its driver Hiroshi Yanagisawa. Next morning the action begins, with Crocker the first away.
3, 2, 1, go.
And with his new co-driver Ben Atkinson calling the notes, it's no surprise to find the Australian pair are quickest over the first 20-kilometre stage. Next fastest is Jarkko Miettinen, only 6 seconds slower. A good time for the Finnish driver considering this is new territory, a new car and new team.
Just slow left mine shaft.
The next stage is the mine shaft, famous for its 40-metre drop and totally blind approach.
4 left. into care crest, 4 left into slow crest and 3 right.
Crocker sails over it and wins this stage too. The Australian now has a 20-second gap over Mitsubishi's Mitanen, whose teammate Taguchi is 4 seconds further back in third. The battle for fourth is tight, with Yanagisawa just 0.3 of a second in front of Crocker's teammate Eli Evans. Holding sixth is Rifat Sungkar, happy to still be in the event, unlike his teammate Subhan Aksa, who went off into soft sand in the first stage and was unable to extract himself. The pace heats up in the afternoon, with Mitanen winning the 25-kilometre long Gowan stage, narrowing the gap to leader Crocker and increasing the margin to his teammate Taguchi. The next test is fast, smooth and wide, and Crocker uses his local knowledge to increase his slender lead.
5 left in, narrow jump, 120. Turn 7 left narrow and jump, 250. Brow slow, 80 squiggle. Air 4 right, 3 left.
An official speed camera in the stages clocks the Subaru at 189 kilometres an hour. But if you think that's fast, here's Taguchi on the limit at 200k. While Taguchi's flying, his teammate is slowing. A gearbox with no gears means that the Finn is forced to stop. The only consolation is that with a new gearbox fitted, he can rejoin the rally's second leg tomorrow and get some bonus points.
We're away.
Crocker starts day 2 with a 1 minute and 10-second lead over Taguchi. But the Japanese driver is immediately in trouble with a blown turbo and limps to the end of the stage. At the following service, the crew replaces the turbo, but the time lost drops Taguchi to 4th. Mitanen's met with a worse fate. He was blinded by the dust from his slow-moving teammate and had a huge crash. His Mitsubishi is a write-off.
Well, I was driving behind my teammate and he had some kind of technical problem, and I think we were catching him and maybe pushing a little bit too hard on the dust, and then just didn't see the corner. I thought the straight was a little bit longer, so we went quite straight from here.
And while others falter, Crocker comes home a clear winner. And not far behind him is teammate Eli Evans, making a great debut for the LWR Subaru rally team. Cusco Subaru's Yanagisawa joins them on the podium in 3rd to make it a complete Subaru clean sweep. After his earlier troubles, Taguchi makes it home in 4th. And Sungkar flies the flag for Indonesia with 5th position. The next APRC event is in complete contrast. It's staged on the beautiful Pacific island of French New Caledonia. Teams need only compete in 6 of the 7 rounds, and the Subaru teams that dominated in Canberra have nominated New Caledonia as the one event in the year that they'll drop. Thus, New Caledonia is going to be a Mitsubishi benefit. But even so, it doesn't all go to plan for the Mitsi men. As Mitanen's bad luck continues, he crashes out while leading. Teammate Taguchi takes over the lead and holds the premier position until the finish. Although he's never been to the event before, Rifat Sunkar finishes a deserved second. And he's followed home in third by veteran New Zealand driver Dermot Nally. There are big celebrations at the finish for Taguchi, who now leads the Drivers' Championship, with Sunkar second equal with Cody Crocker. A new rally, a new country, as the championship moves further south to New Zealand in the thermal resort city of Rotorua, a place surrounded by steaming lakes, geysers and mud pools. A traditional Maori welcome for the teams, dominated by Subarus. This time there's no entry from the MRF Mitsubishi team, so this one should be an easy win for Cody Crocker. But this event is no pushover. A feature of Rally Rotorua is the world-famous Motu stage, 44 kilometres of twisting mountain roads, where each driver makes over 1,000 gear changes and each co-driver has to read out over 50 pages of pace notes.
50, 6 left in, 50, slow 7 right, fly.
And to add to the challenge, wild winter weather makes sure that it's an endurance event for the competitors and spectators alike. Torrential rain falling for the first day's competition.
Into 3 right.
With rivers of water on the roads and visibility almost impossible, Crocker slides and slithers his way through the stage. Teammate Eli Evans goes off-road briefly in the slippery conditions, but the Subaru pair makes it through safely. Holding second spot is Sunkar, driving a brand new Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 9 and loving the winter conditions. A surprise third place among the APRC drivers is New Zealander Mark Tapper in a front-wheel drive Ford Fiesta.
Into 2 left.
He absolutely drives the wheels off the little car, and his high placing in the atrocious conditions is a remarkable effort.
We destroyed our tyres in Whakarau and had to front to rear them before the stage, and she was a bit of fun coming through there because the back was sort of coming into the corners before the front, but looks like we were second fastest again. So
unfortunately for Tapper, his great drive is all for naught. A paperwork mix-up sees the young Kiwi disqualified from scoring APRC points. The next day, the sunshine returns, and Crocker races past the local kiwi fruit orchards on his way to a comfortable win. Rifat Sunkar drove well in the difficult conditions yesterday and is rewarded with second. A surprise third is Fan Fan from China, claiming his first ever international podium finish. Bring it on! Crocker's win puts him into the lead in the Drivers' Championship points, with Sunkar now a clear second and Taguchi falling to third. After New Zealand, the championship leaves the South Pacific and moves north to the island of Hokkaido in Japan. In 2005, this event saw a 1-2 win for the MRF Mitsubishi team, headed by Katsu Taguchi. The team is expecting a similar result this year for Taguchi, and the Japanese driver has certainly got lots of local support. Another driver expected to go well in his home country is Hiroshi Yanagisawa in the Cusco Subaru. The roads in Hokkaido are fast and narrow, leaving little room for error, and it's Crocker who sets the fastest time on the first stage. Yanagisawa is only 3.3 seconds behind, and for the morning stages, the two Subaru drivers set the pace.
5 left long.
Taguchi, though, is not happy, finding his new Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 9 very nervous. At the first service break, his team works on the brakes and the suspension. The Cusco team is breaking in a new car too and makes some changes as the afternoon roads are expected to be very rough. The changes to Taguchi's car have an immediate effect and the Japanese driver is on the pace in the afternoon. But while he's pushing to the maximum, he's still down in third place.
90.
Further down the order, there's a great battle between New Zealand drivers Dermot Malley, Brian Green in the One U Rally Team Mitsubishi, and the youngest driver in the APRC, Subhan Aksa. All three drivers are fighting for sixth, while fifth is currently held by Subaru's Eli Evans. Holding fourth is Jarkko Miettinen. And a disappointed Taguchi is third. Subaru is dominating the event with Yanagisawa in a safe second and Crocker still flying out front, ahead of his nearest APRC rival by 48 seconds. After an early start on day 2, there's little change in the overall positions, except for Subhan Aksa easily moving into 6th spot, holding that position to the finish. Eli Evans enjoys the fast Hokkaido roads and hangs on to his 5th position. Miettinen surprises with a couple of faster stage times, the Finn slowly regaining his confidence and finishing 4th. Taguchi finishes on the podium in 3rd spot, but it's not where he wanted to be on his home event. Still, the Japanese driver is encouraged by the performance of his new Evo 9.
I think car performance is very good. It's much better than Evolution 8, but we are not proper setup at the moment because the Evolution 8 already 2 years setup already is a perfect setup, but this car is not really 100%. Maybe still we show the performance about 90% only. So next event maybe 93, 94 we have to picking up.
Yanagisawa is a solid 2nd in the Cusco Subaru, moving the Japanese driver to 4th in the Drivers' Championship points. Crocker seems to be unstoppable with his 3rd consecutive win, even if he does seem a little surprised.
Yeah, can't be any happier. It's been great 3 rallies and this one tops it off, that's for sure. And coming to Japan, we sort of wanted to try and win and do our best, and it's both Katsu's and Hiroshi's home event, and we thought, well, at least if we can be near then it'd be great, but to come out on top is even better.
The Asia Pacific Rally Championship presents the teams and drivers with many different challenges. Each event is a new country, a new culture, new roads and new weather conditions. And the steamy heat of Malaysia presents another unique challenge, where the drivers and crews must also battle the heat and humidity.
Oh, it just gets hotter and hotter.
With temperatures up to 60 degrees Celsius inside the cars, dehydration is a very real threat, and the top teams employ paramedics to keep a watchful eye on the driver's health.
Dehydration comes on really rapidly, and you can have things like loss of consciousness, weakness, nausea, vomiting and all those sorts of things, and very severe dehydration can actually cause brain damage and ultimately death if it's not, but that's the the very end point. We'd never let it get to that stage, obviously.
Other challenges facing the teams in Malaysia are the tropical downpours that turn the roads into muddy and treacherously slippery tracks. Prior to the start of the first stage, all the teams have varying ideas about what type of tyre is best suited to the conditions. 3 teams have 3 different answers.
I'd suggest a tyre that's got a little bit of an open pattern for this morning, these first 2 stages. And then the 2, 3 and 4, that's in the tall trees where it doesn't get any sun, and that will be muddy, so I'd suggest some mud tyres in there.
We're running a little bit conservative, and we're going to run a hard, narrow with a wide groove in it.
There's only 4 minutes to go and we haven't made a call yet, so there's a good chance we'll be on muds, I think.
Go! Go!
It's the MRF Mitsubishi team that gets it right. And after the first two stages, Taguchi leads the event by 33 seconds.
Okay.
There has, however, been mayhem on the first stage. Suban Aksa on course for a good time until he rounds a corner and finds Chinese driver Fan Fan stuck in the middle of the road after taking a wheel off on one of the bridges. Brian Green and Jaakko Mietonen are also forced to stop, and officials give all three drivers an assessed time for the stage. That proves to be a real handicap for Mietonen later in the rally.
Fan, poor guy.
Taguchi's good fortune doesn't last either, as on the 25-kilometre third stage, a puncture near the start forces the crew to stop and change the tyre, losing over 4 minutes and falling to 6th. But at least they're still in the event, unlike Rifat Sungkar, whose new Mitsubishi is looking very second-hand after a huge crash.
I turned the steering wheel to the right, switched to the third gear. When I push the throttle, there's nothing. There's none. The engine stalled. So it just goes straight to the bridge.
2 right. The slow tightens 4 and turn 2 right.
With those around him having problems, it's Crocker who moves back into his traditional position in the lead.
3 right narrow.
Crocker's top spot is backed up by the ever-reliable Yanagisawa. However, the Japanese driver's position is under threat from an ever-improving Mietonen. In third now, and only 14 seconds away from second place. Only 1 second back in fourth is Eli Evans and new co-driver Chris Murphy, who are finding conditions in Malaysia very tricky and are taking time to get accustomed to the slippery conditions.
Flat left 50.
The young Australian has had a number of off-road excursions and he's a bit disappointed with himself.
When I don't know how much damage is on the car, but we sort of sideswiped the tree.
In the afternoon stages, as the temperatures rise, it's Mietonen and Taguchi who start setting faster stage times. Mietonen moving up to second and Taguchi recovering to fourth spot. Separating the MRF Mitsubishis is Yanagisawa in third. But it's going to be difficult to catch Crocker. He's over a minute in front of the pack and confident that he can keep it that way.
We're doing all right, like we've got a good lead, so we just need to hold on to that, and Katsu won, beat us on stage 5 by 7 seconds, so if he takes that out of his each stage, we're happy.
The next day dawned sunny and very hot, and with no overnight rain, the teams of mechanics prepare the cars and tyres for dry conditions.
Slow 50, turn 2 left narrow.
Crocker leads the field away.
Slow left into turn 2 right, easy narrow, opens 40.
Behind him, Eli Evans and Suban Aksa begin a fight over 5th place. Eventually it's Aksa who comes out in front, aided by Evans hitting a bridge and getting a puncture.
Left 2. Oh.
Taguchi is on a mission today, determined to get bonus points for the fastest time for the leg. And there's a further bonus for the Mitsubishi driver when Yanagisawa drops time with suspension problems, allowing Taguchi into 3rd place. Mietonen is also pushing hard, but is resigned to finishing 2nd as Crocker is too far in front. It's the Finns' best drive of the championship.
It's a good result when we take under consideration everything we had during the race. We had all sorts of small problems and only a few very, very nice stages that I drove. And so the result is I think maximum we could achieve here today.
Taguchi achieves his goal. He gets the points for the fastest driver of the day.
You think you've won the day?
I don't know. We will see. This is.
Yeah.
This is.
I think so.
Today?
Yep.
Yes.
For today. No problem. Thank you.
But Cody Crocker and his co-driver Ben Atkinson have moved another step closer to their goal, the Asia Pacific Rally Championship title. The Subaru pair has a total of 63 points now, out of a possible 64.
Well done.
Mate, that's it, is it? Is that it?
That is over.
Yeah, it's been an awesome year so far. We've got just about maximum points bar one. That Katsu and Stay stole from us today, but otherwise, been an absolutely awesome championship, and we've got 2 rounds to go now, and we're looking really good for the championship, and just keep our heads on and try and make sure we finish it off.
The ancient port city of Makassar, Indonesia, is the location for the 6th APRC round. Like Malaysia, it's hellishly hot, and with no rain for 5 months, it's going to be dry, dusty and rough. The APRC regulars have a new challenge for this event. They are joined by the world champion in the production car class, Japan's Toshi Arai in the motor image team. But he is not eligible to take Asia Pacific points. After finishing second in the last event, it's Jarkko Mietinen who sets the early pace, winning the first stage by 2 seconds from Crocker. Japanese drivers Arai and Katsu Taguchi in an MRF Mitsubishi are 6 seconds further back and third equal. Holding 5th is Yanagisawa. At the end of stage 2, Crocker's teammate Eli Evans is forced to retire due to a broken gearbox.
Gearbox. Lost 4th and then proceeded to lose 5th, and now 3rd's gone.
Up front, the positions are incredibly close, and after 5 stages, Crocker and fellow Subaru driver Arai are now equal first. But Mitsubishi's Mietinen is only 1 second further back. And he would have taken the lead if it hadn't been for this puncture. Taguchi also punctures, but for him it's disastrous. Once again it's near the start of the stage and he's forced to stop and change the tyre, costing him over 3 minutes. With Taguchi's problems, Yanagisawa moves into 4th overall and 3rd in the APRC. Indonesia's Sungkar's 5th overall, but with some handling problems, he's not sure he can hold off a recovering Taguchi. Sungkar's countryman Aksa has gearbox problems in the morning, dropping him to last place. But at least he is still going and moving back up the field.
Yeah, in the stage 3 we had some problems. All of the gears are slipping.
In the afternoon stages, Arai starts putting the hammer down and gradually moves ahead of the APRC frontrunners. He's in a class of his own. Mietinen and Crocker are having a great battle for the APRC lead, and it's the Mitsubishi driver, again pushing to the max, that comes out on top, but only leads by 1 second. Then on stage 7 there's big trouble for Crocker, as the engine starts overheating from a blocked radiator and air cleaner, forcing the Aussie to slow dramatically.
Right, 80.
But problem fixed. In the final stage of the day, he really attacks, pulling back 1 second on Mietinen.
5 left.
But still he's forced to settle for second at the end of day 1. It's the first time this year that he isn't leading at the end of a leg.
I don't like it at all. I don't like being second. But obviously you've got to take the good with the bad. We've had a fantastic run all season, and everyone else has run into trouble and we haven't.
For Jarkko Miettinen, today has been a moment to savour, leading the APRC by 35 seconds. But he's aware that things could be different tomorrow.
I think it's hard to catch RI, but of course we try, but that's difficult. I try to keep Cody behind me, and that's difficult also.
3, 2, 1, go. 50.
Day 2 and Crocker is fired up and determined to take the APRC lead back. A top 3 finish here will secure him the Asia Pacific Drivers' Championship. In the first stage of the day, he takes 13 seconds off Miettinen's lead and chops another 12 seconds in the next. By the end of the third stage, the Subaru driver has the APRC lead back by 2 seconds. With the gap so close, Miettinen pushes hard in the afternoon until he hits a rock, damages the suspension and is forced to slow and settle for second.
Yeah, I hit a rock in the first stage. I have to be careful, and there was something loose. And now we have some heating problems. We were on a security program, and the last few cases I know that Cody is going fast, so we just came finish.
At the final control, Crocker knows he's done enough to clinch the championship with 1 round to go.
Oh, it's been an amazing weekend. Like, it's been so close, and when we lost the time yesterday, I honestly didn't think I'd catch it back, but yeah, I think we're going to have a bit of a celebration tonight. The boys are pretty happy about that because it's been an amazing team effort. I think throughout the year you sort of see how much the team actually input and make a car that's so perfect for me to drive, and it's testimony to that, and thanks to them that that we're here.
After another reliable drive, Yanagasawa is rewarded with third in the APRC here. There's a big celebration for Subaru at the finish, Toshi Arai winning the rally outright. And Cody Crocker and navigator Ben Atkinson first in the APRC. The Subaru pair now have enough points to win the championship, providing they cross the start line in China. China Rally, based in the city of Longyu, 400 kilometres from Shanghai, is the 7th and final round of the 2006 Asia Pacific Rally Championship. The addition of a large international field that competes in the China Rally Championship means that an outright winner is difficult to predict. For young Australian Eli Evans, China Rally is his 5th totally new event for the season, and one where he hopes he can reverse a run of retirements.
It's been a massive learning experience. Doing the Asia Pacific Championship, the learning curve that I've gone through this year has been a lot bigger if I had just done my national series. So I think, through the year I'm a lot better driver than I was at the start of the year. There's no doubt about it. We've had a bit of bad luck in the last 2 rounds. So one of them was a little bit of a driver error, but mechanical dramas in Indonesia sort of stopped us from getting a good result. But we're back and the car's ready, so we're going to go out there and just give it another shot.
Finnish driver Jarkko Miettinen won the last round of the Chinese National Championship, but his Asia Pacific campaign hasn't been as successful.
The start was catastrophic, had accidents and small car failure, so when we went to Japan we didn't have any points, and then we had a new car in Japan, so since then it's been better, but not easy, but a lot of new experiences, very, very interesting and a nice year for me. We are heading for try to get the 3rd place. That's realistic if we can make our own result here. So, but the conditions are difficult, and first have to get used to the roads and how the grip is here.
Australian Cody Crocker is here to win the Asia Pacific title, but also wants to make it 6 wins in a row.
It's going to be a tough event, and there's a huge range of talent here, from the Chinese competitors in their own championship and their home event sort of thing, to the nationals doing the internationals doing the Chinese championship, to us APRC guys. So it's a fantastic field, and I expect a lot of different stage times from probably up to 8 or 10 drivers, and that'll make for a fantastic event. And just hope at the end of it we're on the top.
Although Crocker and navigator Ben Atkinson have enough points to win the titles, the rules state that each competitor must start 6 of the 7 rounds to qualify for series points. Therefore, it's a mere formality that sees the pair start Rally China.
Congratulations.
And that's enough for both to become the Asia Pacific Drivers and Co-Drivers Champions. With the title battle won by Crocker, the spots to watch are second and third. The runner-up spot currently held by Mitsubishi driver Katsu Taguchi. Behind him, just 3 points separate Hiroshi Yanagasawa, Rifat Sunkar and Jarkko Miettinen.
We do our maximum because, as you know, in the championship, the third, fourth, fifth position is only 1 point separate, so it will be tough.
The event starts with a super special. Crocker and Taguchi are first up, the only chance the drivers have to race side by side against each other.
Flippy 3 right narrow into 1 right.
As predicted, the conditions are extremely tricky. And it's a close race to the finish.
Long into finish. Finish. 151. That was all right.
Sunkar and Yanagasawa are away next. Both drivers push hard in the mud, with Sunkar coming out slightly ahead. Then, just as the cars cross the finish line, a baseball-sized rock is flung up by Sunkar, smashing into Yanagasawa's windscreen. Thankfully, with no serious damage. In the rally proper, Crocker quickly establishes himself as the driver to beat, leading the event throughout the first day, winning both stages run in atrocious conditions.
3 right, 250.
Miettinen is second in the APRC, followed by his Mitsubishi teammate Taguchi. Australian driver Eli Evans holds fourth. And Cusco Subaru driver Hiroshi Yanagasawa fifth, having a cautious start. At the end of the first day, Crocker is leading the event outright and is pleased the pressure is off. He and Atkinson are the champions, and now he can get on with winning China Rally.
It's pretty exciting to go over a start ramp and be crowned the champion, so we're absolutely wrapped with that. Congratulated Ben, and after we went over the ramp, nearly drove through the next control, but it's all okay. So yeah, no, really happy with that, and I think probably lifted a bit of a load off, so we had a bit of fun in those 2 stages.
So what's the single biggest factor you think that contributed to basically 5 wins on the trot and the championship?
Yeah, it's a hard one to pick, I guess, sort of not trying to beat my own drum, but I guess maybe the experience that I'm getting now gives me a bit more consistency. I think a few of the younger guys sort of were very fast at times, but then had some offs and moments and whatever else. So I think, but also we've had such a great car this year. I can't single it down to one thing, but obviously the guys have maintained the car perfectly. We've had no mechanical trouble whatsoever, so we've got to be happy with that. And the only problem I think we had was the airfield got a bit blocked with all the mud and dust in Indonesia, but that's about it. Can't really acquit that, but otherwise, we had a great run.
Yeah, it's been great for Subaru, for Cody, for myself. I mean, I've done the Asia Pacific a couple of times before, but that was in a 2-wheel drive. To be in an outright car is fantastic, and I think it's just all really gelled for the year. The new team and new pairing with Cody and myself, it just all seemed to work.
Do you think that past experience in the Asia Pacific helped for you, this year?
It definitely helps. I mean, like this event I've done before, others I've done before, and it just makes it easy because you know what to expect. A lot of cultural things make the Asia Pacific quite a challenge to deal with traffic and just different languages and things like that, rather than doing a national championship.
Leg 1 continues the following morning in the high mountains south of Longyu, with the weather no better. As we see from Yanagasawa's onboard camera, Taguchi is immediately in trouble, retiring with suspension damage. Crocker continues to push on in the difficult conditions, but being first on the road, he does have the best of the conditions. Meetonen has a puncture on SS5 and then loses more time later with a high-speed spin. Eli Evans damages his suspension on the same stage, but keeps it together to make it back to service for repairs. New Zealand driver Dermot Malley in a Wanyu Rally Team Mitsubishi is using his years of experience to handle the horrible conditions, but retires near the end of the leg with diff problems. Fellow New Zealander Brian Green has several car problems during the day, including a puncture, but does make it to the end of the leg. The mud in the final stages of the day is treacherous, and Evans has a slight off, but does go on to finish the leg in 4th. Meetonen, pushing hard to make up for time lost earlier, also goes off in the mud, but keeps the boot in to regain the road and hold on to his 3rd spot in APRC. As he has all championship long, Yanagasawa stays out of trouble and moves up the leaderboard to end leg 1 in 2nd spot in the APRC and 3rd overall. He also picks up 2 very valuable bonus points in the driver's fight. Cody Crocker drives faultlessly through the day to lead the event and the APRC at the end of the leg.
It started off as pretty bad mush and then it just got worse from there. It was pretty incredible, but I guess, yeah, when it's this type of condition, your first car on the road generally has the best conditions, and then it gets worse from there, and then obviously 2nd and 3rd pass is just atrocious, and we actually had to cancel out the last 10 Ks of one of the middle stages just because it was so diabolical. It was just really difficult to drive, and you wouldn't be able to get an FIV vehicle in there at all or anything like that if something did go wrong. So really, for safety's sake, it was probably the best decision.
Next day the weather improves and both leading APRC drivers throw caution to the wind.
Danger 10 crest jump 200.
Flying high over one of the many jumps on stage 13.
Slow. Oh, yeah, slow jump, slow 74 left, easy.
Behind the leading duo, both Meetonen and Evans retire on the first stage of leg 2, promoting Indonesia's Rifat Sunkar to 3rd. Brian Green moves his Mitsubishi up to 4th spot. One of the real tests of the China Rally is the mountain stage San Men Yuan that the drivers tackle 3 times. With over 40 hairpins and run at high altitude, it's a tough final stage for the 4 remaining APRC drivers. Yanagasawa holds it together to finish 2nd in the APAC and gains enough points to take 2nd position in the drivers' title race.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
味パシに火っていうのは本当今日さっき分かったんですけど、自分とすれば思いが
I've never dreamed on the APRC championship second place. Everything happened. That's why I'm very happy to get this APRC second position.
On his first attempt at the Asia Pacific Rally Championship, Indonesian driver Sunkar finishes 3rd APRC driver in China and flies the flag for Mitsubishi. The young Indonesian has finished 3 times on the podium this year.
Generator's not going.
Good job. We never expect that we can have this good result because we are thinking about the target will be the 7th overall in the first year. But we don't know, we got the 3 podiums in 2006, so I think it's such a wonderful result for us.
And Subaru rally driver Cody Crocker has shown why he is the 2006 Asia Pacific champion, winning his 6th event of the season, typically with hardly a scratch on the car and after 250 kilometres of one of the toughest events on the championship.
Left. In the 6th lap, 100. Finish. Woohoo!
Done it!
18:47.
I reckon this is probably the most difficult event we've done this year. I mean, every event we went to, I think you probably got me on record saying, yeah, this is the most difficult, but the rain just made things diabolical and incredibly slippery. And I haven't really counted, but there's at least 40 to 50 hairpins, in some of these stages, and just on the handbrake all the time. And it's definitely the lowest average speed stages, around 50 kilometres an hour. So first and second gear and up the hill and left, right, left hairpins, one after the other, and it never ends, and the altitude was quite high as well. On some stages you just climb up and up and up.
So a well-satisfied Aussie pair celebrate on top of the podium after a totally dominant season. The final points show that Crocker was in a class of his own, scoring 94 points out of the possible 96. Yanagasawa pipped Taguchi for second and Sunkar takes fourth. In the co-drivers title contest, Ben Atkinson easily heads Mark Stacey. And Subaru has a clear win in the Manufacturers' Championship.